Happy Monday. Hi, Melissa. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. We got the white stuff outside and we got more this morning. So I think, I said to my partner the other day, do you think we're like in it, like we're white through March now? We're getting a cold spell too, so I don't think it's going to be going anywhere anytime soon. But you've had lovely weather down here, down there, right?
Yeah, for the weekend, it's been sunny and beautiful. And it's sunny outside today, so
That's
nice
so
day.
We were looking at the weather this morning and it's supposed to be in the teens on Thursday for Thanksgiving. So,
Wow.
speaking of Thanksgiving, Melissa and I thought we'd do a little special early Thanksgiving Facebook Live for you all. So, again, we're here joining you from drjockers.com. And Melissa and I are both health coaches and practice nutrition and functional nutrition with everybody who comes our way. And yeah, so as Melissa said last time we spoke, don't be afraid to reach out to one of us if you're struggling with any health issues. I know it can be a lonely road sometimes when you're feeling, really sick and you've tried, mainstream medicine and nothing really has worked for you. So please don't hesitate to reach out to one of us. We're here to help. We're here to answer your questions, give you suggestions, and so forth and so on. So today we're going to be talking about healthy Thanksgiving recipes, especially as far as, good fats go and lower carb, following the model that Dr. Jockers likes to put out there. So we thought an article just came out. So for those of you who follow our emails or get our emails, you'll see a great link, and I'll provide the link later today after we're done with this Facebook Live on what these recipes are. It's a great little download to give you some ideas if you haven't done your shopping yet of some healthy keto-friendly recipes that you can follow for this Thanksgiving. So first, let's talk about turkey. Melissa, what would you say some of the most important things are as far as turkey goes, your choice of turkeys?
Well, the quality of the meat, obviously. So, there's a lot of specials out there around Thanksgiving, and it's usually each store trying to beat the other with the cheapest price on the turkey. And those are generally the conventionally fed, conventionally raised turkeys that we really want to avoid because there's a lot of toxic ingredients that they eat, and what they eat, we eat when we eat them. So that's what you need to always remember. A lot of them are fed GMO feeds. They are raised in unsanitary conditions a lot of the times. My dad is a concrete guy, and he worked in a chicken factory one time, and he told me if you ever went into a chicken factory, you'd never eat chicken again because it was so disgusting. So, just really important to pick the quality turkey. And, actually, I was at Whole Foods last week for a shopping tour, and the prices were great on the turkeys. So I think that as this movement catches on, you're going to see better prices on the things that we promote, the organic and the pasture raised and things like that. But picking the right turkey is definitely important.
Yeah, especially when you have Amazon taking over Whole Foods, it lowers the price, doesn't it?
Hopefully.
Yeah. So interesting. I just had something come up on my phone the other day that said that 90,000 pounds of turkey were recalled because of possible salmonella.
Wow.
So pay attention to that warning. You could do a Google search about salmonella and turkey and make sure that your turkey isn't one of those unfortunately infected salmonella turkeys. So yeah. So another thing that I want to mention about the turkey is taking advantage of the whole turkey. Oftentimes these days they're not included anymore, but if you can get all of the organs still in the inside the turkey, sometimes they'll include them in a little pouch to really take advantage of those, because some of them are loaded with nutrients that you really might want to include, whether it's taking the liver, for example, from the turkey and cooking it and cutting it up and putting it into a stuffing. I think that some of us, people of maybe our parents' generation are still really good at eating liver, but I feel like our generation, Melissa, we didn't grow up eating liver, and a lot of us think like, ooh, I'd rather poke needles in my eyes than eat liver. But as we know, as health coaches, like, we know this is one of the most nutrient dense foods, and we should really take advantage of all the nutrients that it offers.
Absolutely.
And then, you want to take this turkey afterwards. Never throw your turkey away. If you don't have time to make a soup right away, take all those bones and the cartilage and the little bit of meat that's left over on the bones and throw them in a freezer bag and cook your turkey soup later. Making those broths from turkey bones not only taste amazing, but they're so nutrient dense, rich in all the amino acids that are not contained in the meat in and of itself. So it's really important to have that sort of full profile of amino acids that we could really get from the broth. So eat your broth, make your broth. Do not throw away that turkey, those turkey bones. Something else we want to talk about is focusing on good fats. I think, Melissa, this is something we talk about every week, so focusing on those good fats. And Thanksgiving is not a time to forget about them. Instead of filling up on, lots of potatoes and lots of grains, adding fats to especially the vegetables that we consume is a great way to feel satiated. It's a great way to be able to absorb our fat-soluble vitamins. So, Melissa, what are some of your favorite fats that you like to add to your Thanksgiving meals?
Well, definitely butter. Butter's one of my favorites. And then, anything with coconut. I feel sorry for people that don't like coconut because it's so nutritious. And to me, it's absolutely wonderful. But I love to roast vegetables and add coconut butter or coconut oil to those. It just makes the coconut butter is very creamy, so it gives it a delicious texture. But I love the taste of, grass-fed butter. So I love to say butter's back because for years we ate the tubs of processed, you can't call it margarine. Anyway, so definitely, find the grass-fed butters instead because they're very nutritious. They have ALA, CLA, lots of the different healthy fats, and just a great way to give flavor. And like Danielle was saying, when you add the fats to the vegetables, they're much more satiating. So you get satisfied and you're less likely to look for the foods that are unhealthy. That's really important at Thanksgiving. Pick out the healthy foods and, satisfy yourself with those. And that makes the other things much less tempting.
Exactly. When, I'm sure many of us are going to find ourselves at a table where there are foods that we don't typically eat. And like Melissa said, you might feel tempted to eat those foods. So if you make sure that you fill up on your good fat and your good fiber and your quality protein, then you'll be sure to have less of a chance of eating those other foods that you might want to stay away from. The next point is tons of veggies, and it's a good idea to get a variety of different kinds of vegetables, like the cruciferous vegetables. Brussels sprouts are always a great thing. And Dr. Drucker is on this guide that I'm going to have a link to. He likes to do the Brussels sprouts with turkey bacon. That could be really yummy. Those of you who eat pork can do regular bacon. There's also a recipe for grain-free stuffing, which I love that idea. And there's turnips and sweet potatoes and other veggies and celery, mushroom. And this looks like a great recipe. I think you could even add like some nuts and seeds into this if you want like a little bit more crunch. I know I've done something like this with sunflower seeds before, and I thought it was really tasty. Nice to add a little bit of crunch. There was also a great alternative gravy recipe where they're adding in things like the coconut oil and the coconut flour. You could do grass-fed butter if you want. I was talking to a girlfriend the other day who has been making this amazing gravy, and she adds in a little bit of potato starch. So the potato starch would be good for things like, adding in a good prebiotic fiber. So that would be a really good alternative to adding, a wheat flour or something like that. Mm-hmm. So some other things that Melissa and I thought were important to discuss is self-care, right?
Absolutely.
Many of us are hosting Thanksgiving dinner, and we are, as hosts or hostesses, we're in charge of everything, right? Like we're cooking, we're serving, we're cleaning, we're pulling our hair out.
Absolutely.
Do that a little bit for us.
Well, I was going to go out of town for Thanksgiving, but then all of my family decided that they wanted to come to our house for Thanksgiving. And at first, I really started getting stressed. And I have a propensity to get stressed about things. That's something I really work on. And so I went out for a walk. And I encourage you just to go out for walks when you're feeling stressed, especially over this Thanksgiving week. Get out in nature, let the sun shine on your face if you have any sun, and really just take some deep breaths and give yourself time to relax and think. And I really, while I was walking, I just started thinking, instead of worrying about everything being perfect and the meal being just so and everybody being happy, I'm just going to try to focus on being present and showing love. Thanksgiving, especially if you're the one cooking and doing everything Danielle was talking about, it can feel like a real burden. But if you can look at it instead as a way to show love to the people you care about, then it transforms your mindset. And for me, it took it from being a stressful thing to something I'm actually excited about. So just one way to do it, but definitely one of those self-care things is get outside, go get some exercise. We're going to talk about exercise, but that's self-care, and that's a great way to start Thursday morning. My daughter and I will sometimes climb Kennesaw Mountain on Thursday morning. So just a great tradition that she and I have now. And that's, our quality time. And, dinner you can wait and have dinner later. Take care of yourself first, and then you can take care of everyone else.
Take a walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
It takes a while to cook. Yeah, that's such a good idea. And then also, Melissa, you and I were talking before, like, don't be afraid to ask for help, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's sort of like people respond differently to being in people's houses. Some people are very much like, oh, let me help. What can I do to help? And some people feel really funny about like crossing that line of, oh, this is your house, you might want to do everything. So everyone's different. But if help is something you want, don't be afraid to ask for it. I know anytime I'm a guest in someone's house, I am more than happy to help. And I'm usually offering it because I'm usually one of those people who appreciates being offered help. And as my children and stepchildren will tell you, like, I'm not afraid to delegate. Like, I'm overwhelmed. I'm cooking for everybody. So can you please be in charge of this? Can you please be in charge of this? And planning ahead too, right? Like, there's some things you can do ahead of time so that you're not so crazy on Thanksgiving Day itself. And that, like Melissa said, you can be present. So that's a really important thing. And then, yeah, getting out for exercise, right, Melissa? I love that idea of having a ritual of, going to hike a mountain or walk on the beach or even just a neighborhood walk, getting outside.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't have time that morning, if you feel the pressure, then make it a family event after the meal. Get everyone outside. Play a kickball game in the backyard. That's exercise, and it's fun, and just gets everyone from focused on the food, because Thanksgiving is such a holiday of focus on food, and really the focus should be on the quality time you're spending together and doing things together. So get outside, go do something, even if it's a shopping trip afterwards. But it'd be much better to do a kickball game or something fun in the backyard. It can really make kids out of all of us to do stuff like that. Our family did it one year, and everybody was laughing and having a great time, and it was just really good for all of us.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. There's nothing like having a family who does things outdoors together, and I always appreciate that. I can remember when my girls were smaller, it's exactly what we would do. Their grandparents lived in their backyard was a school, so there was a field. So we'd go out there and we'd play soccer, if there's not snow on the ground, or kickball or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
or tag, or something fun where you're moving around and you're connecting as a family. Speaking of, another thing to think about, like Melissa said, you want to be present. And I just love that you said that, Melissa, because I was reading something the other day. I came across an advertisement for a game, and it was saying how, most adults and children are spending 40% of their waking hours in front of a screen.
Mm-hmm.
So, on Thanksgiving, like, let's take a break from that. Let's be present with the people who we don't get to see all the time. Instead of looking at other people and what they're doing on Thanksgiving, like, who cares? We could find that out later if we really need to know. But when we're at Thanksgiving dinner, when we're there with our families and our close friends, let's be present, and let's not worry about what other people are doing right then and there. Let's worry about what's going on right now and take advantage of that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. You can have a basket in the kitchen and everyone can just put their phone in there at the beginning of the time together.
Love it. Love it. I'm going to do that.
Me too.
Oh, God. So also a few other things we wanted to talk about just in general is adding things in to help aid it with digestion, to help with gut health. Taking some good probiotics is helpful. Not only are you going to be around a bunch of people who may be sick, so probiotics can help boost your immune system. It also helps with digestion in general. What else, Melissa?
Digestive enzymes, because we do tend to overeat on Thanksgiving. So have some digestive enzymes. We have one called Super Dezyme that I have here at the house. And another great one is called Acid Prozyme. It's got HCl to help. Most of us have low stomach acid, not high stomach acid. So when you're taking those proton pump inhibitors, you're actually causing more issues than just using hydrochloric acid as a supplement, which helps break down those hard to digest foods. And you could even use apple cider vinegar, like a teaspoon and some water right before you eat, can really help with getting the digestive juices going. So just different tips like that to make, the overall digestive process easier, in the event that you do overindulge.
Yeah, right. I mean, eating a lot of food at once is taxing on the system. So those of us, I should say, who need support, make sure that you have it with you. I know sometimes I've been carrying around lately, I got one of those little phone wallets. So I'll just travel everywhere with this because it has my money, it has my credit card, my license, and my phone, of course. But I'm not carrying around my purse as much. So my digestive enzymes get left out often. It's one thing I'm struggling with right now. So I have to figure out do I have to just carry my purse everywhere? So anyway, bring your digestive enzymes.
Yes, definitely.
Laureen is saying hello from Rochester, New York. All good advice you're giving. Love your self-care info. Thank you for joining us. We have Colleen joining us from Philly. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I hope that what we have said today will help make your Thanksgiving more pleasant, more enjoyable, more nutritious. And like I said, I'm going to provide a link to this article where you can get a great download for all these yummy, yummy recipes we're talking about. And Melissa, would you like to add anything else?
Just one other thing I was thinking about. If you're not hosting Thanksgiving, I had a client that had this particular issue, and she was going to someone else's house and was very concerned about what was going to be served and not having options. So if you're going somewhere else and you're worried about that, take a couple of things that you can eat or that are healthy. You'd probably be surprised at how well received it will be because other people will enjoy it also, but then you'll have options, and that kind of takes some of that stress out of going somewhere else when you know that you're bringing something that's healthy and nutritious and that will not cause, GI issues for you. So just one tip I had to add.
I love it. Absolutely. Because, I know we're going to some friends who we haven't been to their house for Thanksgiving before, and it's actually his father. And he was like, wait, she's a nutritionist? What am I going to have that she can eat? Is she going to be okay? And he was like, don't worry, she'll take care of herself. She'll bring her own food if she thinks she won't be able to eat something. So yeah, it is true. You got to take care of yourself. Good point. I like that. All right. Well, thanks again for joining us. And I hope that you all have a pleasant and loving Thanksgiving, and bring thanks to your family and friends, and really try to appreciate. It's a great day to appreciate. We all have a lot to be thankful for. Okay, Melissa, take care. We'll have a happy Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you
too, dear.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.